Stone County Extension saves the world. I fired it up now.
This is how we're going to come in with you laughing.
Oh, man. I've been crying. Been laughing.
I love when a laugh hits.
Oh,
like
man.
when on the way home.
When we got tickled.
When we got tickled, I love getting a good, getting tickled. You know, you ever get that where it's kind of boring and then something just happens and tickles you to death and you just can't, you laugh so hard. I love that.
And randomly, ever so often you think about it and you get tickled. Yeah. Oh man, I could get tickled about that all over again.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh man.
But we're recording a podcast. That's probably like
an hour, at least an hour.
An hour of that will never be heard. I've deleted it because
one thing that used to get me so tickled is my in-laws can snore. Sorry, Wayne and Karen, if you're listening, but they can do some snoring. And I'd make a little chainsaw. I said it'd be like a double chainsaw. I'd go. I mean, I could laugh, and if Brandon would just hold up those fingers, I'd bust out laughing for years. I love to laugh. I think laughing is
people out there. Well, tell us what you're laughing about. Well,
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
So we've attempted to talk about Mondays where if we like them.
We got to talking about leadership and
I think we'll get
bad
into
leaders.
It. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just get so tickled about things sometimes, and I've just been crying.
Well, yeah, but some funny things, I guess, this morning coming in. How are y'all on a Monday morning after a weekend? You primed? I wasn't primed this morning, and I walk in and I was singing. This ain't it not exactly reflects what time, but it may, or how'd it go? It may be 10:30, but I don't care. It's 8:00 somewhere. And I rolled in to the office and I said, good morning to everybody.
Well, we're in the back to school schedule. Well, and you worked Saturday, so
yeah. And it wasn't 10:30. It was almost
9.
Yeah. I don't know. Woke up and kind of got around, and it's just
And it's like we said, it's the last day of summer break for our kiddos, and our kiddos start school back tomorrow, and that means I've got to get gone really early and hope and pray that road work's over. That plagued us this spring. Even though I like me some nice roads, it's tough in the in-between phase.
Yeah, I seen a deal, and it was like, oh, we're doing road work. Oh, on some of these roads that have potholes and stuff? No, on one that we did about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, they chip and sealed this road, and if I see them laying down chip and seal, I immediately get ragey.
Yeah, it is it's going to take us a day to remove it and a day to pave it. But then we're going to leave it there unfixed. It's got to sit. He's like, it's got to sit undone for a few months.
Yeah, yeah. And they've ground it down and
yeah.
Well, it feels like they're just.
Well,
it feels like the road work's never done. It's like laundry.
Have you been down Allison?
Yeah. I was late for my dentist appointment because I had forgotten about the road work. That one's been going on a while.
That was
they're working on the bridge.
I rolled up there and it's 500. And it's like, okay, 5 minutes. No, 500 seconds is what it was counting down. I was like, dang.
How many minutes?
Divide that by 60.
I swore off math after my math
Yeah.
course. Not really, but kind of.
I don't know. I think it was something to do with we have calculators on our phones, and so we don't do it in our heads.
We weren't going to.
Yeah. You're never. Yeah. So back to school. You have any funny school memories?
I'm sure I do. I was thinking about the time that I hit a kid in the head with a rock. Accidentally. I meant to like hit him with a rock, but just not in the head. And my parents, it was in first grade, and my parents got a letter that I assaulted a child. Which, granted, if my child had got hit in the head with a rock,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to report that I think it did permanent damage to the individual. Their life has reflected a traumatic head injury.
Man.
I well, I did enjoy school. Whitney enjoys school. But man, middle school was tough for me. And she's going into sixth grade, and I'm not said anything because I don't want to put that in her head.
Well, it seems like when I
sixth grade,
like fourth, fifth.
I liked fifth, but
like
everybody changed.
Girls got mean around fourth and fifth grade. Like
I remember
they were all fighting. I remember,
really,
yeah,
I remember
all the time.
the change started for girls at the end of fifth, but I remember sixth. It was like I felt like I had to get I didn't have to get new friends, but I feel like everybody changed. Like all the groups like shifted, and and then you're going through all those changes, and some people are way more ahead, and I was way more behind, and then I had that stupid haircut that my mom let me have, that bob. I've been scarred by that haircut. You will never see. If I have short hair, somebody did that to me.
We had bowl cuts. I had a bowl cut throughout elementary school.
I'm pretty sure Karen gave Brandon every trendy haircut.
Yeah, I had a rat.
They have some tragic bowls.
I had a rat tail.
One day I was talking smack. This was before the mullets had come back, and I was like, mullet. And Brandon's like, look around the room. Everybody in this room's had a mullet. I got so tickled. They're like, yep. Yeah, he had a rat tail too, I think.
Yeah.
I remember the Nike swoosh was really popular, like shaved into the back of your head when I was in elementary.
Bowl cuts.
Bowl cuts. Oh, man, I just feel for middle school. I think it's just a tough time.
Did you ever have, like, we had like a band or like a boy band come to the school and put on a performance about, like, it was like, they were like, they'd come to the school and do, I can't remember their name, but they'd come to school and they would do like anti-drug stuff, don't do drugs. And I remember like there was like one part they would like, a couple of them would like do karate and stuff. And we thought that was so cool, man.
I bet you did. I could see it on you. I'm shocked you didn't join a boy band after that.
Dadgummit.
Probably got to quit rambling. We probably need to rally.
So let's rally. So, I always looked back or I enjoyed like the first
few days
of school. Yeah, it's like it's a new opportunity for me to do good.
You got to see all your friends.
Yeah, I got to see my friends.
That was the main thing I liked.
But, usually I'd fall into my old ways, get my name down, get detentions.
You know what? I never got D-Halt ever.
Well,
but I hated getting in trouble.
Like, I didn't think it was possible. I remember in first grade, they had the Panda Club, which is like on Fridays, if you didn't get your name down, you got to go be in Panda Club, and they'd watch a movie or do something fun and have a little party. I think I got to do it like once or twice the whole year. And then in kindergarten,
you're really showing out.
And then kindergarten, like, you get your name down once is like 5 minutes off recess, 2 times, 10 minutes, 3 times, that's full recess, 4 times. I never got a full recess, but I got 10 minutes.
You never got a full recess?
Never got full, I never got to like,
losing the
entire recess, but I think a majority of recesses, I had to sit at least 5 to 10 minutes.
What would help, because I think kids just have a lot of energy, and that's why some are getting in trouble, is instead of removing time off recess, they should have to run laps during that time. Because it just seems like, and that's not always the case, but some of your smartest and your most energetic kids seem to get in a lot of trouble because they can't stay still, or, they're bored or something like that. And it's almost like if you could give them a major challenge, that may help. I don't know. Just a thought.
That's what we'll start doing when they're acting up at 4-H stuff. Get out and run.
5 laps.
5 laps.
We don't have much acted up, thankfully.
Well, next time they do, I'm using that. So, you got iLEAD. You're starting iLEAD.
Start iLEAD this week. I'm in cohort 6.
And I'm graduating from cohort 5.
So tell us a little bit about what you've learned.
Learned about how I'm an improved leader. You want me to give you my quick tips on how to take charge of a group real quickly?
Sure.
To where everyone looks at you and thinks that you're the leader.
That's a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to know this.
All right. When there's an opportunity like this, they put you in a group and they're like, all right, we need you to write down ideas. If you'll be the writer, bam, people think you're the leader right away.
Okay, because you took the initiative.
Yeah.
Just write.
Just be like, yeah, I'll be the writer or I'll be the scribe. And like usually you'll get up and you listen to, and so then you're not having to come up with a bunch of ideas. You can listen to other ideas, write them down, gives you a second to think, and then you be like, oh, what about this? And then you know all the info, and so they're kind of looking at you to give the presentation. You got to be able to do that too. You can't wuss out then and be like, I can't talk in front of people. You just got to hop up and do it.
And that's your tips.
That's my tips. Just do
automatically look like a leader.
Look like a leader. 2 things.
We'll see.
Showing leadership.
I'm afraid they couldn't read my handwriting.
Don't matter. I have about the worst. I'll write in cursive, sloppy cursive. Like when I'll start.
You do the hat. I kind of do the half cursive.
Well, I'll start
flows.
writing in print, and then I'll start moving to half cursive. And when they start saying a bunch of words that I don't know how to spell, that's when I really start writing cursive.
So they're not sure if you spelled it correctly or not. That's one way to do it.
Yeah. So tips. What tip or what have I learned? I guess one thing that I wish I would be better about is networking, I guess, because
you had a lot of opportunity to network.
You do have a lot of opportunity to network. Like you're going all around to looking at the different stuff that Extension's got going on throughout the state, different research stations, extension centers. But I'm not a networker. So if you are, that's what I'd give you like advice, like get to know some of the people a little better. But you'll learn it's all about different personalities is what a lot of the first part is how to navigate some personalities, learning what your personality is, learning what other people's personalities are, and
work through that one section you brought back, some of the true colors, and we did it here at the office, and we all 3 have different main personality traits.
But then it's, I don't know, like you'll learn some conflict resolution toward, like, that's one of like the later things we did. You do have a service project that you pick. What are you thinking?
No, I'm already thinking 4-H leaders, like trying to
volunteer,
trying to like promote, build up, like explain effectively how to lead a 4-H club in a way that's beneficial for the leader, the club, the members, just trying to promote that but support them in a way that they can continue and feel supported. So try to grow a few leaders up out of here.
Okay.
That sounded a little funny, but try to get more 4-H leaders for our kiddos.
Sounds like a good plan. I think it'll be good. Yeah, we were talking like our age group. What are we, millennials?
We're millennials. We're a little bit on the older millennial side of things.
Older millennial, like.
Well, you were saying like we don't volunteer that much, but I think it's because a lot of us are in the heat of busy kiddo times, and that's kind of hard to find. But if your kids are doing...
Yeah, if your kids are interested in, volunteering for what they're interested in, you're more likely to do it. 4-H, there's something for everybody. The point of 4-H as a youth organization is to teach kids, help them find what they're interested in. There's all sorts of different projects that one way or another, like even if you're like a sports kid, that's healthy living, physical fitness. There's a project there that somehow you could fall into 4-H, and then you also get out of 4-H what you put in. So if you're just signed up in name, you sign up and don't really.
You're not involved with the
Not
different
involved. You're
activities.
not going to get a lot out of it. But, I mean, look at some of the kids that have been involved. They've got to go to South Carolina. They've got to go to Louisville. They've got to go to Tennessee.
Kansas City and Denver. And
one of them's been in Alabama.
Yep. Or was it Georgia?
Georgia.
It was Georgia.
Yeah. So a lot of opportunities for fun stuff out there, and I think it'll be cool. See what you can do. My project was building a community garden, working with the master gardeners, and facilitating some leadership over that. And I selected something that it's like a multi-year over the course of my career, adding to it. So maybe it's cool by the time I retire type deal.
Well, you don't want something so.
Yeah, I didn't want it to blow it up real big, and then it gets
you want the
unable
slow
to
build.
Yeah, I want a slow build.
So Stone County Youth Leadership Program is something that started here in 2006, but it kind of took a little time off with COVID, and I brought it back the 24-25 year.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be my third year already. Isn't that wild?
Wild. Are you enjoying it?
I do. I feel like it gives kids, opportunities to consider careers, because I feel like I was very narrowly focused on the availability of careers or the attainability of careers in Stone County. And so we have the youth leadership program. It is a 4-H program, and I do have a board. I have Kim Lovelace from Ozarka College, Lily Boren from Centennial Bank, Larry Smith from Farm Bureau, and I've had a couple others who've been on my board. So we focus on students that are going into the 8th or 9th grade and any homeschool or public school students in our county. And we're focusing on team building. So we go to a ropes course. They learn about public speaking, a lot of tips on that. And that's one thing 4-H is really good about, is incorporating public speaking into a lot of different areas. Also, they come up with their own volunteer project for the program. They learn about managing finances. So we go through the Get Real, Here's the Deal program. They learn a lot about banking. They get to talk to different people in Centennial Bank, and that's something that was probably the favorited one of this last group that I had go through. That was probably their favorite. Social media etiquette, dining etiquette, and that's always fun to do that. And we have several other things. There's usually a big event every other year. 4-H has a 4-H day at the Capitol. So this coming year, we'll have the official 4-H day at the Capitol. Will be one of our events. And this past year, I made sure after public speaking that we went through the courthouse and spoke with the electeds and some of their workers about what those different offices do. Because, I don't know, I graduated and I was like, how do I... Like, I went to get tags for my vehicle. I didn't even know. You have to assess and you have to go. And so we learned all that, and that was great. And I learned more from doing that as well. So we do this program about once a month throughout the school year, and they have to apply. And so those applications I'm about to send out to the schools this week as school's getting back in session. They're also available at our office, and I'm going to have them available at Ozarka College and most likely Centennial Bank. And you just apply. And that's also for you to learn about applications. I mean, it's all to help you build skills for the future. And so that's a fun program. And that was one of those programs that a lot of people had asked me to bring back when I started. And the timing, it just wasn't working, of course, with COVID. But then I was ready to get it going back. And Tyler helps with that, a support for me.
I think that's the one deal that I was like, I don't really want to do much.
I think that's about the only thing that you've said. It wasn't that the program itself, it's that you had just really, I think, been burned. That's really what had happened. But it's a good program, especially I feel at that 8th and ninth grade time, because although it seems like being a junior and senior is a long ways away and graduating and what am I going to do after high school, it's really a pivotal time to start really truly considering that. And I love that these kids are getting opportunities to start considering some options outside of what they may traditionally be. And also, how to be a contributing citizen in their home county. So with the volunteer work and getting to meet with your electeds. And it also always, the more you do, it adds to resumes. And one fun thing is, some of the kids we've gotten to pull into other areas of 4-H. Several of them weren't members before, and so, some have stayed and done more and some haven't, but that's the option that's available for them. And people say, it's a small town, we need more for our kids. Well, here's an opportunity for your kids in our town. And so Stone County Youth Leadership, the applications are going to be due September 11th. Those will be coming out this week to the public school counselors, but are available at the Stone County Extension Office already and will soon be at Centennial Bank and Ozarka College. And please reach out to them and please consider, and if you know someone that is of age or will be coming of age to join the program, please send them our way.
Yeah. So what type, I'll bump the table, what type of like leadership traits or leadership type are you? Like, I think you'll get to learn about that.
Lead, I'm not sure yet.
When we did it, I think he'll probably do it again, I would imagine. But Taylor Knox, he talked to us about the different types of leaders. Like,
you came back and
yeah,
said
I came back. I wanted to be the autocratic. Yeah, that's the authoritarian. Yeah.
The older I get, the more I appreciate a leader that offers the support but gives you the opportunity to lead whatever smaller project that is, even though y'all have like a common goal, because a good leader's not going to be able to do it all. And I've seen some people that do try to do everything, every little detail, and they just seem extremely high strung or stressed out or overwhelmed. And I feel like in extension, there's endless opportunities for you. And so to do things, and I think you can easily overwhelm and overdo and fizzle out. Whereas if you can be a good delegator and understand your limits and boundaries, you'll be more
as
successful.
You go through that and you see like the sacrificial type leaders and the, what is it, laissez-faire type leaders. It's like, okay, I get it that you kind of have to know when to use those leadership styles. And it kind of goes, you learn that. And I think that's kind of the big takeaway is like, because you're like, well, I'm not learning leadership. We're not practicing. And it's like, well, that's what your service project's for, is for you to practice the leadership.
Yeah.
But then we're talking about, the different personalities that, what's your personality and the different personalities that are out there, how to work with them.
There's a lot of, everybody's so different.
Mm-hmm. Are you more emotional? Are you more, that would be like a blue is like they're more, worried about what people think and how they're feeling and care about others. Whereas
maybe not so worried about what people think in a way that like makes them feel bad. It may make them feel cranky.
Yeah. Like a green is more like analytical, like it's a problem I'm gonna solve. I was an orange, which is
no surprise.
Like what would you call an orange? The
outgoing, energetic.
Yeah.
Wing it
style. Yeah. Gonna outgoing, wing it style. And then gold is like very organized, operational. That's what Madison is, and it's
great.
It's so great. Yeah. And so I think
we're not.
you kind of leaned blue.
I did. I hate it.
So we've talked leadership, and I guess we'll kind of demonstrated our lack of maybe we're trying to describe it. Yet it's like you'd be. It seems like I'm like thinking half the time, man, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think it's hard to describe.
Yeah, I'm like I can't describe what.
Well, you were talking about the different styles, and it's like to me, you can't just be one. You've got to embody multiple to be a good leader.
Yeah.
And a leader, what, like you were saying, what works for certain people doesn't work for everybody. So it's really people reading, and it's just an interesting thing. Yeah, it's hard to describe
But
what
it
we think
is
a
a
good leader
skill
is.
that you can learn, is what I think it's.
Yes, and I'm hoping to gain some skills.
Yeah.
I think I will. I think it's going to be good. There's a lot of people in my group, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a good week.
I think it'll be fun for you.
Yeah.
But you said we're talking school lunches.
Yeah, so we're talking about school starts tomorrow for our kiddos.
What was your favorite school lunch?
I remember in elementary, somebody made really good rolls. And then in middle school, there was this apple crisp, and it was so good. And I told the lunch ladies, like, this is so good. And one day they saved some for me because there was going to be oh man, that's why you tell people you appreciate them.
I don't know what it was. Those little did y'all have the little rectangle pizza?
I didn't like rectangle pizza.
You so did. So good.
Well,
yeah,
when we were in school, everything was still kind of homemade, and it got a little different.
Oh man, the pizza at Marshall
question
was awesome.
Did y'all have chicken sandwiches?
I'm sure, but
did you crush up Cool Ranch Doritos, put on said chicken sandwich? Oh, it was so good.
I didn't do that. I do it on my if I make a sandwich at home.
You do that?
Mm-hmm. I put Cool Ranch Doritos on my sandwich. It's good.
Brandon wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for Cool Ranch chips.
Yeah, Cool Ranch chips and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's what I survived on. I was more
Cheerio. Do you remember Oreo O's? I love those. Those were good. Anyway, if you're going to be packing a school lunch. So I've already seen a few parents posting like, when are you going to be packing for lunch this year? I need some ideas. And it reminded me of Tori Smith had done a blog post, and I think she was even did a news article, maybe a spot on television about how to pack safe school lunches for your child to carry to school. So if you would like to read her blog post in its entirety, How to Pack a Safe Lunch for Your Child to Carry to School by Tori Smith. So she had went through and basically did what I would call a demo to check the safety of different ways to pack a school lunch. And she did a cold lunch, and she did 3 different lunch boxes with that, and I'll go through that. And then hot lunch, and she did 2 different lunch boxes. So she wanted to see if the food stayed out of that temperature danger zone, which is 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're sending our kid to school with a lunch that is not going to be kept in a refrigerator or somewhere hot, most likely, for several hours before they're getting the opportunity to eat it. And so the first one she did is she did a commercial freezer pack to keep it cold. And it was an insulated lunchbox. Then in the blue lunchbox, the second one, she froze the yogurt tube because its claim to fame was that if you freeze this yogurt tube and put it in with your food, it'll keep your food cold, and then it'll be ready to eat at lunchtime. And then the next one, in the orange, she used a baggie of ice because somebody may not have had access to a commercial freezer pack for that. Then on the hot lunches, she had a green lunchbox where she put soup in a glass bowl. And she also followed, she noted that she followed lunch packing tips from Living Well on the Prairie with Shay Wilson. Even though she's not an agent anymore, you should still be able to read that article, where she wanted to make sure that you included a protein, veggie, or fruit, and a dairy. So then she had that green lunchbox, she had soup in a glass bowl, and then she had the purple lunchbox where she used a thermos to keep the soup hot. Or it was supposed to keep the soup hot in the stainless steel thermos. So out of those lunches, which ones do you think stayed in a safe temperature range until lunchtime?
I don't know.
Any guesses?
None of them.
None of them. You got it right. So they didn't even make it to the 2-hour mark. She had planned to go 6 hours. They didn't even make it to the 2-hour mark. So if you pack that lunch at 7 a.m., by 9 a.m. it was already in the temperature danger zone.
Which, again, is what?
40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're either wanting to keep the cold foods below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and the hot foods above 140 or 135. It just kind of depends on, what resource you're using. But
where would a sandwich...
you would want it below 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So, So that's pretty concerning. So none of those lunches stayed cold enough or hot enough. So what can you do to actually make sure that you are keeping those lunches cold enough or hot enough? And so the USDA recommends using two sources of cold. So that's straight from the USDA for packing your lunch from school. Like that's a tip from them. So only one cold source is not going to be enough. So you want to create almost like a sandwich in effect. You want like a freezer pack, maybe freeze your water bottle. It mentioned freezing your juice package, or if you put juice, or like I was thinking of, there's like a brand of little squeezy type in a silver package that we really like.
Like
Oh
a
my
Capri
goodness, Capri
Sun
Sun. Sorry, my mind went blank.
or a
We built
Kool-Aid
our
jammer.
house on Capri Suns, but you need to freeze those, and I thought that's a great idea to help maintain that cold
All right,
temp.
on this, I have a story. So, do you ever drink Sunny Delight, Sunny D?
Yes, yeah.
I can't drink it anymore, whatever it is. One time, like, we were staying over at a friend's house in Marshall, and like we got up and they had Sunny Delight for breakfast, and I got the worst headache, and like I was sick.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was for sure from
I
that.
don't know. I associate
But
it with Sunny Delight, and so
it's
I
funny how you
haven't drank it.
associate it.
I haven't drank it since, and I see it every now and then, and I'm just like, is it even a thing anymore?
Yeah, I think so. I associate grape flavoring with medicine in a negative way, where Brandon associates it in a positive way and loves grape flavoring because medicine had that.
Hmm.
Yuck. Anyway, our little sidebar on school lunches. But so when you're wanting to pack the lunch and for it to be safe, is it insulated? So make sure you've got an insulated container that you're putting it in. Is it large enough to hold at least two cold sources? And you want to try to, like, sandwich your stuff and have the items that are the most likely to be unsafe right next to that cold source. So, two cold sources. Hot foods. So, if you're going to be doing, I've seen a lot of people talk about those little insulated containers, either put chicken nuggets in that or, chili or soup. Make sure that you're pouring hot water in that, like probably heat it up on the stove in that container to get it really prepped and warm. So, when you're putting your food in there, it's not having to heat up the container, and because stainless steel transfers heat. So if you can put something in there that's already got that stainless steel warm, then your food is not going to be transferring the heat out of it into the stainless steel. So warm up water on your stove, pour into that container, and get that prepped and hot. It's kind of like the same thought too with a cooler. If you can put a bag of ice in there, get it cooled down, and then put your items in, they're going to keep better. And then we want to clean and sanitize that lunchbox every day. So we want to get those crumbs out, the spills, mold. We don't want mold or bacteria growing in there. I'm afraid you're thinking of another story. And don't reuse single-use bags. So I wanted to get all that out before you told whatever story you're about to tell. But please be safe when you're packing those school lunches. So.
Well, I've got several ways that I could go with the story, but
Oh no.
like we've had that happen where like mom on I guess is on Tuesdays would bring Addie like a lunchbox for ballet and stuff. And like she one time she'd I guess forgot it and it's like, what is that smell?
Oh.
And then it's like, it's that. I just kick it outside and
Just
go
throw
pick
it
up.
away.
Yeah, go throw it away. But then you got thinking about this, and I told this story on the vet science tour to
The youth of
the youth. And so they got a kick out of it. I don't
I
know.
bet they did.
So thinking of smelly things,
Smelly smells that smell.
smelly smells that smell smelly. So when back in the day, working in the blueberries, we had we did something that I figure most normal teenage boys would attempt something about
Oh no. Are you really about to tell this?
the bag of smells. Yeah. So
Well, I'm thinking about the college jar of smells, but I don't think it's as nasty as the bag of smells.
Hello, it's Tyler Cass, and just a quick warning, the next 3 minutes of this video is kind of a gross story, and we gag during it, but it is funny if you want to listen, but just if you get an upset stomach pretty easy, you might want to skip ahead. Again, it's about a little over 3 minutes long. Well...
Or no, I think the bag of smells was not as nasty as what...
I don't know if I should tell the bag of smells.
Don't tell everything in the bag of smells. Or can you? Oh, no.
What it was it was somebody's tobacco spit bottle.
I don't know if I can make it through this already.
And so, one day I found that spit bottle underneath the seat, and it had been hot, and so it's hot and steamy. And I opened that thing up. And it stinks. I'm pretty sure I took it. I took it and blew it in Dustin's face, and he's like, "Oh!" and so we decided we were going to try to make that thing as stinky as possible throughout the year. And I mean, we added all sorts of stuff to it. A bouillon cube at one point, and just random stuff. It was bad. Anyways, how did we get onto the bag of smells?
Because of the stinky lunchbox.
Yeah. Woo! So, anyways, be sanitary.
Yeah, I remember Aho's jar of smells in college. It looked very smelly. I don't know if I'm recovered. And, I was thinking, too, not just school lunches. If you're packing lunches, you're a blue-collar person or somebody who just packs a lunch and you're out where you can't keep it, in a refrigerator. These tips will work for that, too.
But, yeah, so, anyways.
So, back to the bag of smells.
Bag of smells.
When you're making your bag of smells.
Yeah, so I guess to close it out, the bag of smells, it was bad. I guess that's just what to say about it. Telling the story.
I was thinking about the time I accidentally drank dip spit. It went down.
See, it is funny.
I don't know, my laugh escaped. The donkey laughed and got out on me. I'm trying to keep that in. I can't breathe, and
I could actually probably leave this in.
On that note,
we've covered several topics.
We got a little bit of everything today.
Yeah. But, it seems like, really it's like prime summer, really. Still like a month and a half, I guess,
That's
left.
what Brandon keeps telling me, that it's still summer.
Yeah, we're, I guess, technically halfway through summer. But
to me, summer's over and school starts.
Summer's over and it's fall, pretty much. And so we're kind of in that transition zone. I did want to kind of clear some stuff up. Last week we were talking armyworms, and I'd mentioned, homeowners need to keep a lookout, especially if you've got Bermuda grass in your lawn. But I did want to say the types of insecticides that a homeowner is going to be using is going to be different than, say, ones I mentioned. Those are for pasture and hay fields. Permethrin, I think, is one that's labeled for lawns. What's that one that I always tell the story about? It's permethrin, I think.
Clearly, I forgot the story.
Yeah, I tell this story about how people call about how wanting to use this product on their pasture because it's labeled for armyworms, but it's only labeled for lawn use. I'm pretty sure it's permethrin. But so we'll kind of want to clear that up if you're a homeowner looking and you do notice armyworms out there, products you're going to be using a little bit different. You can give us a call at the extension office if you do have questions. Because again, everything is so, your operation, your home type deal for what works. It's so dependent that I can't on a podcast give a broad recommendation, but that's kind of what we're doing with this, is trying to get you to think about things and looking at the educational resources and the researched information. And so with that, we're moving into a transition where we're towards the end of where our warm season grasses are going to start going dormant, and our cool season grasses are going to be starting to come on here at about September. We're in at around the first of week of August, second week, I guess.
Yeah, second week.
Second week of August. So there's some things that we can do to prepare for, say, fall grazing if we're going to be having livestock. Again, on your operation, it's going to be different, especially when we're thinking about the stage of production your animals are in. But we probably want some form of fall grazing, right? We don't want to be having to feed hay. We didn't just spend all summer cutting hay to have to start feeding it in August, hopefully, weather dependent. It's rained here and there. We got a little bit of a rain this last Thursday.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. So it's rained here and there a little bit throughout the summer. So, but not everywhere. I know some places were dry. I had to go to a place on the lower end of the county, or I guess it was actually in Cleveland County. Amy, she was gone, so I kind of ran over and looked at a pond for her, for a guy, and it rained on me on the way over to this place, and it was dry when I got there. But so what is our fall grazing availability? Our warm season grasses, they're going downhill. If we're wanting to say stockpile Bermuda grass, this is like your last opportunity really this week. We'd want to put out like 50 to 60 pounds of nitrogen. Our first thing to do is, I think I've talked about stockpiling before, but you go out and you graze it or cut it low, and then go out, fertilize 50, 60 pounds of nitrogen, let it grow up, and then come in and start grazing it in October, just to kind of extend our hay season. It's like, so we make our last cut. You could do this with a hay field, where we make our last cutting of hay, fertilize it, and rather than come in and make a third or fourth cutting, we're going to just strip graze it and utilize the cattle to harvest it. And that'll extend some fall grazing for Bermuda grass. We want to have that eaten pretty much or grazed off by December. And then fescue. So fescue will be a cool season perennial type grass. Tall fescue is what we have a lot here in Stone County. Majority of farms have some fescue on there. Problem with Kentucky 31 tall fescue, which is what a lot of guys have, is it's got that toxic endophyte that if they consume enough of it, that it can kind of heats them up. They can have foot issues, or their fur will get fuzzy, or their tail will fall out, and then they don't gain as good of weight. But in that, it's a good forage. That's usually from consuming the seed, like once it puts on the seed heads. I may be thinking something different. I'll edit that out. So, but tall fescue is what's pretty common. But I was looking, so a lot of guys call me another option that's not that would be a good option. Say you're going to go in. Guys like to establish fescue. September, October is kind of the prime time for establishing cool season grasses. So if you haven't done a soil test yet, be sure you kind of have an idea of what your soil fertility is. But we're at the timing for going in and establish, if you wanted to say some perennial grasses to cover your grazing or having forage, say in the fall, and then early spring, we're looking at some sort of cool season grass, whether that's tall fescue, orchard grass. Those are a couple of perennials, or we can fill in with, say, some annual grasses like ryegrass, or some of the cereal grains like cereal rye or wheat or triticale. Not a lot of guys are triticale. I'm not sure how to actually say it. Have you ever seen that? Triticale. It's like TRIT.
I'm not the one to.
You don't know.
I don't know. I'm not one to pronounce things correctly.
I don't know. I've always called it triticale, but I've heard people call it triticale. So let us know what y'all call it. Anyways, wheat, triticale, annual or cereal rye. Annual ryegrass is a cool season, but it's not one of those cereal grains. People use it that way. One problem I do see with like ryegrass is that like it seeds out and it kind of becomes prolific to volunteer back. And so if you're doing that in like a Bermuda grass field, and we'll I guess talk about that. I guess back up. We're talking about establishing some pasture. I've mentioned some form of grazing. Talked establishing cool season, tall fescue, orchard grass. And then I was going to talk some of the problems with that, and then I moved into like the annuals. But back up a little bit to orchard grass. We're kind of right on that zone to where, say you do plant it, it is a perennial, but it seems to go away here and there. Like if you're wanting to keep it a pretty established stand. Well, one thing about that, what I was reading, is it's a little bit of a more heavier fertilizer feeder than, say, tall fescue. And so if you're doing, say, a mixture of orchard grass and tall fescue, over time that tall fescue is going to outcompete it if you're not,
amending.
If you're not amending. So if you're noticing, I've had guys call where I've planted orchard grass a few years ago and it doesn't seem like there's any left. Well, that's probably what's somewhat happened, is that tall fescue doesn't require as much, fertilizer to grow, and it just kind of outcompetes it. And that's one good thing about that endophyte, that is it allows it to kind of be proliferate and stay established here in this part of the world that we're in. What am I trying to think? Oh, it's going to mention clovers. Do you know much about clover?
Crimson clover over and over. There's white clover. There's red clover that's actually like purple.
Yeah, kind of pinkish. Mm-hmm.
I've always heard kind of mixed things on clovers.
So funny thing about clovers is like guys will have a bunch of weeds out, like actual broadleaf weeds, and usually what you're going to be applying as far as an herbicide is concerned is going to kill your clover. And guys are always worried about their clover, and you go out and there's just like a little patch of clover, and it's like But on clover, thinking about that, if you do have clover, it's a legume, fixates nitrogen from the atmosphere. It's going to be at a little bit higher protein quality. It's good to have. It's diversity out there. That would be the best, is to have a diverse mix of different grasses out there available, and forbs, legumes. But clovers, what we're spraying to control broadleafs, pretty much is going to wipe out clover. However, white clover seems to be a little bit tolerant to, say, 2,4-diamine. So if you're spraying less, if you'll spray less than a pint, or I think it's a quart of 2,4-D on white clover, it can tolerate it somewhat. So if you do like clover or want to have clover as an option in your operation, probably white clover is the way to go. And it seems to be a heavy cedar. Like even if you did kill it, like it comes back from seed pretty easy. White Ladino clovers, they're going to be a perennial. I was going to mention about that. So if we're on the timing of establishing, they're also a cool season. September, October is a good time. But we have a fact sheet about, rather than say we're going to go out and seed clover across our whole field, and the seeding rate on clovers is like 4 pounds per acre of seed. So one study that our old forage specialist did was, rather than spreading that out over say a whole acre, what if they just did it in some strips? So more likely have more seeds on a smaller space, but you're going to have more germinate, and you'll have those strips out there, and then you can navigate, your spray operation somewhat. But strip seeding clovers is an option if you want it. But I was talking to one of our producers, and he's asking about, he had fall grazing, but he's wanting something different than ryegrass that he could plant for early spring grazing. So I think I was going to talk a little bit about some options, since we're right in that time frame of getting a plan together within a month to plant this stuff in September. So if we're wanting some fall grazing along with some spring grazing, planting in the spring is a good option with some of those cereal grains like wheat or cereal rye. Oats is another good option, but really we're a little bit too far north for oats to survive our winter. So if you wanted, say, some fall grazing, you can plant those oats, and in about 60 days they'll be mature and you can have fall grazing. But what they've seen through trials is that they get a winter kill on them. Around 28 degrees, I was reading, they get damaged. And so oats may not be the best option for fall grazing, but then early spring, it's something we could plant, January, February, and then it's going to come on and be pretty there for us early spring pretty quickly. But wheat, cereal rye has to go through that process of vernalization, where it has to go through that cold period to sprout and really pop if you want to use that. Good thing about it is they don't volunteer, so you're not going to have to be battling them, because you'll have that with ryegrass. Ryegrass is a good option, but it's like in the spring you go graze it and cut it for hay, and it's like it takes it a long time to really go dormant. And it's like it keeps trying to produce seeds, and then over the course of the year you have a bunch of little volunteers pop up. And then if you're wanting more of a say a pure Bermuda stand, which that again depends on an operation, ryegrass might not be an option. Now, have I made much sense to you?
Yeah, you went through the perennials, and then you.
So one thing about most of these cool season, like tall fescue, orchard grass, they're larger seed, and so you can use a no-till drill to establish them rather than having to go in and disc and prepare a prepared seed bed, which is the book recommendation of how, because I guess mention how guys establish. Like they'll come out and they'll say, what if I put it in the fertilizer and just broadcast it? Well, think about that. How that seed germinates is it's got to have good soil to seed contact. And if you're just throwing it out there on top of the ground, you're not getting good soil to seed contact. And, maybe some of them germinate, maybe some of them don't. If they do and it don't root good, that root dries up and then you've lost it. So if we're really seriously wanting to establish something, using good, proper practices, if we're going to go in and do, say, a broadcast application, going in and doing a well-prepared seed bed, and how I've heard it described is you want it, to where when you step on there, it leaves like a footprint, and then we can go out and broadcast seed. When we're broadcasting seed, we typically want to use a higher rate. On things like fescue, that's going to be like, say, 15 to 20 to 25 pounds. per acre. Something like clover is going to be like 4 pounds, where we get into like wheat, cereal rye, oats, triticale. They're all going to be like 90 to 120 pounds per acre. Ryegrass is like 15 to 20 pounds per acre. And the rate's going to vary if you're drilling it or broadcasting it. Typically when we broadcast, we put a little bit more. Again, want that well-prepared seed bed, or we can do a no-till drill where we just go in and with a equipment and with a no-till drill and drill it in. You can rent those from most conservation districts. Can't you?
Yes.
You're being pretty quiet. You got
I'm
anything?
Sorry. I was just thinking how...
Got any thoughts?
My thoughts are the less that you have to feed hay bales, the better in my mind. And just like, I just think about it like, think about if you were a cow. You know, wouldn't it be nice to have a variety?
Yeah, let's try to extend our grazing.
Like, goofy, but I think like really think about preferences and just, I mean, it's a lot to do hay and feed hay, and if I could just extend that out and my animals are still getting maybe better nutrition, that just seems optimal to me.
Mm-hmm. But a lot goes into play. It's planning and somewhat lucky with weather. Like the past few years, it's been really extremely dry, and so
the fall. We've
had dry falls, and it wouldn't have made sense to try to establish something in say September. So speaking to that, what happens if we can't hit that September date for establishing? You can establish these cool seasons grasses, cool season forages in the spring, but we want to be careful. Like I mentioned, any of those cereal grains like wheat, rye, they have to go through that vernalization, and so for spring, we wouldn't want to do that. Ryegrass is an option in the spring. Oats is a really good option in the spring. There's spring oat and winter oats. Both of those in the spring would work great. Again, they mature in about 60-ish days, so they're pretty fast growing. If you're wanting to cut them for hay, say you're not so much worried about grazing, but you want some early hay, oats is an option. Planting that ryegrass in the early spring, like February, will allow it to, say, not be so mature. Like if we plant it in the fall, it's likely by the time we get around to cutting it in the spring, it's going to be too mature. That the quality is not going to be as good. I think we've talked about that before. But there's options. Again, each farm's different. You can contact us and come up. Main thing is you kind of want to have a plan of what you want to do. And we're talking about it now so you can have time to plan it. Really what they say is like, you want to plan a year in advance, but
weather makes that tough.
Weather makes that tough, but we're at the time frame of September's the timing that we want to do a lot of this stuff for establishing some cool season, say perennial grasses, or if we're wanting to overseed, or wanting, if we've just got warm season grass, if we've just got Bermuda grass and we want to extend our grazing, planting an annual cool season is going to help us right away. I was going to mention if we are planting into existing sod, like Bermuda grass, and we're going in and no-till drilling it, if you leave that Bermuda grass tall and where it can and still, green, it's going to outcompete whatever you put there, and you're going to lose a lot of it. So we really want to suppress that Bermuda grass, and we can actually force it to go dormant by applying some glyphosate. The rate on that is like a pint to a quart per acre. of glyphosate, and it will suppress that Bermuda grass and force it to go dormant. And then you can come in and drill into that, and then whatever that gives it.
And what time of year would you need to do that? What are you saying right now?
So, like, I would want to suppress, say, my Bermuda grass at least a week before planting.
So it wouldn't take that long to
don't take that long. But it's something, you need to plan on. Like, okay, do I, if I can go ahead and just graze this Bermuda grass, or if I can cut it for hay, or I can do something with it, get it off of there. And then, say you do cut it for hay, we want to wait for it to green up slightly. It's not like when we're targeting, say, Bermuda stem maggots, where we got to get it within that 7 to 10 day period. We want that Bermuda grass to kind of green up somewhat, and then come in with like a pint of glyphosate and force it to go dormant, and then come in like a week later, drill into that. And usually timing for fall grazing, we're shooting for mid-September. You can, and for, say, seeding in general in the fall, I wouldn't go much past November. Like, if you're getting into December and January, just wait till February. But I have had guys that have planted in November, and it'll come up. For, like, say, ryegrass or cereal rye and wheat, to go through that cold period into November, I've had guys be successful, I guess.
That's depends on the weather.
Depends on the weather. So lots of options out there for you, but we want to think about extending our grazing season, adopting rotational grazing. Again, if we do the stockpiling and then just turn them all in there to run free, without limiting them, they're going to trample that and be picky, and then they're only going to utilize a percentage of what they could have. So being smart about it
makes sense.
Makes sense. Well, hopefully you made it through this episode.
Hopefully you can pull something together out of
a
few hours of recording.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. Any other words of wisdom?